Good evening. I'm Sharon Tazwell.
And I'm Sean Maroney. Thanks for joining us. We're continuing to follow breaking news on the fight over House Bill 2. First, we heard today from Governor Pat McCrory, who announced he is suing the U.S. Justice Department.
Yeah, now we're hearing from U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, who is suing the state of North Carolina. CBS North Carolina political reporter Bo Minnick starts our coverage live from outside the governor's mansion. Bo.
Sharon, not to mention late this afternoon, we've now learned that House Speaker Tim Moore and Senate President Pro Tem Phil Berger have filed a federal lawsuit of their own in all this. This is really shaping up to be quite a battle.
Today, we are filing a federal civil rights lawsuit against the state of North Carolina.
U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch says North Carolina is violating federal civil rights laws by discriminating against the transgender community.
This is about the dignity and the respect that we accord our fellow citizens.
But Governor McCrory says he does not agree with the Department of Justice's interpretation of federal law.
We believe a court, rather than a federal agency, should tell our state, our nation, and employers across the country what the law requires.
The governor is suing in federal court to get that answer. He also says lawmakers in Washington need to weigh in.
I think it's time for the U.S. Congress to bring clarity to our national anti-discrimination provisions under Title VII and Title IX.
North Carolina could potentially lose billions in federal funding related to Title VII and Title IX.
They created state-sponsored discrimination against transgender individuals.
The governor's chief legal counsel, Bob Stevens, says if the Justice Department feels North Carolina is discriminating against the transgender community, it should ask Congress to change the law.
The class of people that the Justice Department are referring to are not a protected class under Title VII. And until Congress changes that, that's the law.
And both the governor and the Department of Justice were unable to come to terms on an extension to today's deadline. And really, there does not appear to be much middle ground in all this. And with all these lawsuits that are being filed on this, it's really anybody's guess. It's unclear how long it will take for this to play out in federal court. Live in Raleigh, Bo Minnick, CBS, North Carolina.
All right, Bo, thank you. And the UNC system is named in the federal lawsuit filed by the U.S. Department of Justice. We are still awaiting word from the UNC system on its exact response. CBS North Carolina stopped by UNC system President Margaret Spelling's office about an hour ago. Her staffers say she does in fact plan to respond. What the response will be, though, we still don't know. However, this lawsuit could ultimately mean the loss of Title IX funding for the entire UNC system. We are talking about the 17-campus system receiving $1.4 billion that's at risk, so it could be a major blow. One Spellings and the Board of Governors appears to be trying to avoid in all of this. The Attorney General says to reporters she still hasn't heard from them yet.
We remain open to discussions with the state. In fact, we know that the university system has reached out to us. Their Board of Governors is meeting tomorrow. We remain anxious to see what those discussions will bring. And so we are deferring on requesting the curtailment of funding now, but we do retain that right.
Now, the Attorney General says that it's something she would consider at a later date. However, she wouldn't give a specific date on all of that, though.
And two different groups, the ACLU and the faith-based organization Alliance Defending Freedom, spoke to CBS North Carolina about the governor's speech.
What we view this as is McCrory doubling down on discrimination, doubling down on House Bill 2, and trying to use litigation to deny rights rather than advance them.
The Department of Justice is not properly interpreting Title VII and Title IX and the Violence Against Women Act. And North Carolina, instead, is following its own law, which makes a common sense balance between the interests of privacy and safety and the needs of transgender individuals.
Now, as you may remember, the ACLU is part of the lawsuit suing the state because of House Bill 2. The Alliance Defending Freedom takes part in litigations that the organization feels takes away the rights of the religious.
The Democrats' challenger for governor and current Attorney General in our state, Roy Cooper, released this statement about Governor McCrory's lawsuit. In it, he criticized the loss of tourist money and jobs because of House Bill 2.
And now the governor is pouring gas on the fire that he lit by putting billions of dollars of education funding on the line. Instead of doing what's right for our state, he's doubling down on what he knows he did wrong.
The statement was released on Cooper's YouTube channel. Republicans have criticized Cooper, saying he's not doing his job as Attorney General and enforcing the new law. Our coverage on House Bill 2 is also online. There you can read the entire lawsuits filed as well as get a history. It's all on WNCN.com. Then at 5:30, we'll talk to CBS News Justice Department correspondent about the lawsuit and what it means for North Carolina.